Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I just got a really cool new product. It's glow-in-the-dark embroidery thread, and I'm going to show you how I used it. So this is a pattern that I'm working on. This is a tree that's full of fireflies, and I wanted to make it look like it's glowing. So I have this glow-in-the-dark thread that I just bought. Let me show you. It looks a little different. Most threads come on a skein. This thread comes on a spool, and it's a single strand. You can't take it apart. You work with the thickness that it comes in. And it has kind of a weird plasticky feel, and it's kind of bumpy. You'll see it won't glide through the fabric as smoothly as a regular thread. When I first tested it out, I tried stitching these stitches with regular thread and the glow-in-the-dark through the needle all together, but that didn't give me very good results because half the time the glow-in-the-dark thread was buried underneath the other thread and you couldn't see it. So what I did now, I went back, I ripped those out, and I started again just with the regular thread, stitched the whole thing with the regular thread, and now I'm going back with the glow-in-the-dark thread and I'm going to stitch over some of those stitches. So I have some lazy daisy stitches. This is where the stitches are coming up and going in, and you can see here this is the little stitch that's holding this end of the loop. So I've got my thread now coming up from the pointy end of the lazy daisy stitch, and what I'm going to do is just take it underneath that little stitch that holds it in place. I'm just going to pull it through, and then I'm going to put it back down where the other one came up. So this is going to make a little loop that sits on top of the other lazy daisy. You've got to be pretty careful with this stuff tangling. I would maybe cut a shorter length of thread than you usually use because it really doesn't glide very smoothly. So I'm going to show you again on this stitch right up above it. So I'm coming up from the pointy end of the lazy daisy, pull it all the way through, go underneath that little stitch there. So I'm going through the plasticky stuff. And then I'm going to go back down in the point. This would be a lot simpler to do probably with a straight stitch or a running stitch, but I wanted to show you with one of the more complicated stitches. If you can get it with this, then you can do it with just about anything. And that's it. So that's it. That's how you use these fancy glow-in-the-dark threads. I'll include a link to the source where I bought it in the blog post that goes with it. But the two things to remember are, one, cut your thread a little bit shorter than you usually would because this stuff does kind of tangle like crazy. And two, do your glow-in-the-dark stitching on top of your regular stitching so that the fancy glow-in-the-dark threads don't get hidden underneath the regular thread. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World. I'll see you next time.